Good morning to you all. Pray that you all are having a great weekend so far. It's good to be with you today. All right. Again, thanks for connecting this morning. You guys know how we do it. We're going to give a few more people time to log on. We'll be getting started here shortly. Just a couple more minutes. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I'm grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah. I mean say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na. So what did you guys do this weekend? Somebody dropped something in the chat. Good morning, Drika. And Axel, good morning to you, man. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah. I mean say money gonna find me here. Good morning, Lucy. I love you so much. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah. I mean say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. Give people time to log in. If you haven't already subscribed to the page, please go ahead and subscribe to the page so you'll get notifications whenever we're live, just in case you don't get a text message. Also, go ahead and hit that like button if these sessions are a blessing to you weekly. Hit that like button. If you subscribe to the page, don't forget to turn your notifications on. Good morning, Miss Rashonda. Good morning, Anita. Good morning, Tay. Good morning to all of you all. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah. I mean say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah. I mean say money gonna find me here. Those of you who are just connecting, thanks so much for connecting with us this morning. Something good gonna happen. We'll be getting started here shortly. Just
about another minute or so.
that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here.
Draydon, what's going
Blessings
on, my
gonna
man?
find me
Thanks for connecting
here.
this morning.
Oh yeah,
Britt, good morning.
favor gonna
Caden
find me
Cash
here. Oh yeah.
and
I miss say money gonna find me
Christian. Why did I forget Christian
here.
first?
Blessings gonna
Cool.
find me
Mr. Robinson,
here.
thanks so
Oh
much for
na na
connecting, fam.
na 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 na.
All right, you guys, we'll go ahead and get started this morning. I have something I want to share with you guys. I think it's gonna be a blessing. Cole, the Don family in the house, the whole squad. Okay, so I think it's gonna be something that's really gonna be able to help you guys. Moving forward, just with a lot of things, and it may give you some type of relief as it relates to other things. But I pray that you all have had a great week so far, and your weekend has been refreshing for you. If you're off, if you are working this weekend, I pray that you are operating in the strength of the Lord. I got you, G. So, what I was going to say is I have been kind of thrown off this week. Those of you who know or was with us last week, I wasn't in my space. I was out of town. So I got back in, spent 15 hours in the airport coming back. If you was here last week, you heard what my trip going was like. But coming back, I had one flight get canceled, and then a second flight got delayed like 3 times. So it was a total like 15 hours in airports on Tuesday. And so today is the first day that I'm kind of feeling back like myself, getting back in my place, my space. But in addition to that, there's been a lot going on in the world. So I want you guys to make sure that you stay up on that. We got stuff happening with the Olympics. Of course, politics is probably our favorite reality show right now, with what's going on in the presidential race for 2024. Make sure that you guys stay up on all of the latest news, because things could change in a blink of an eye as it relates to that. But we're staying focused and we're staying optimistic and prayerful as well as hopeful, knowing that our comfort, consolation, and safety and stability comes from the Lord and not necessarily our government alone. So we do keep our faith and trust in God. So remember that. As you hear all of these bizarre stories, I swear it's been like this presidential election year has been like one unending TMZ show. So that's what it's been like for me. It's entertaining. It's alarming in some instances and troubling, but it's been funny to say the least. And that's because I'm not in a panic, and I want to encourage all of you all who are in a panic. Don't panic over that. Don't borrow fear from what is being put out. If God haven't told you anything, you keep your faith, trust, and hope in Him, and don't allow any fear or panic to set in. And, I do realize that sometimes that's easier said than done. But, whenever we trust Him and He has a proven record with us, then you can rest assured that He's got you and you're going to be good. So today, I'm going to hop in here. There's a passage I want to read, two passages I want to read from Philippians chapter 2, verse number 13. Right before I do that, I'm going to get another sip of this coffee because it is jamming this morning. How many of you got coffee or tea, or what you sipping on this morning? Excuse me, I had to do that, you guys. So Philippians chapter 3, verse number 13. right? And the Lewis said, 20 ounce. 20 ounce of what? No. No. Philippians chapter 3, verse number 13 says, not, this is the Apostle Paul addressing Church of Philippi, not as though I had already attained either were already perfect, but I follow after that I may apprehend that for which I am apprehended of Christ Jesus. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward unto those things which are before, I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling. You know that. So I'm going to give you a little bit of breakdown of what was happening in verse number 12 and 13 are exactly what was saying when it says, not as though I had already attained, either were I perfect, but I follow after that I may apprehend that for which I have been apprehended. The Apostle Paul is now, he is being transparent, if you will, with the Church of Philippi, and he's admitting and acknowledging that he is subject and vulnerable to the same frailties as a human being that anyone else is, right? And he says that now he's describing his relationship with God. No longer am I one that is on the run for God, but now I am turning and running towards God because I'm trying to grab a hold of the reason why God has grabbed a hold of me. I want to know why he wants me, why he has, why he has called me, why was I picked, why was I chosen. And so, because of the course of life that he was on, leading up to this moment, he thought that he was doing the will of God. And you guys know he had an experience on Damascus Road while he was in the middle of doing ministry work. So he thought he was doing it for God, only to learn that what he was doing, God was not getting any glory out of what he was doing. In fact, it was counterproductive what he was doing. So this is, he's given an account of that season in his life, and he says, and still to this day, I have not arrived yet. Neither am I perfect. Neither have all of my works and things that I do for God. Neither have it worked perfection in me. He says, but I'm following the model now. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. So that at this point in my journey with God, now I'm trying to grab a hold of the reason why he grabbed a hold of me in the first place. So today I want to talk to you about something that happened that happened here, and I want to put it in plain terms that we can understand today a little bit better what the Apostle Paul was describing at this particular instance is something that we identify as course correction. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the process of course correction, but course correction, by definition, it means to make an adjustment to an ongoing process or project in order to achieve the desired outcome, right? It's to make an adjustment to an ongoing process or project in order to achieve the desired outcome. Good morning, Rosalind. And so, whenever you consider course correction in life, this is a skill and this is a practice that we all should engage quite often in our lives. So, and I'm going to show you a little bit how course correction really works in our favor and why it's necessary that we're always operating and applying course correction in our lives through every season, every experience, and all throughout our journey in life. Because what course correction does is it allows you to realize, number one, human error. Number two, it allows you to make sure that you are not carrying something that you shouldn't necessarily carry in your heart. And I'll give you an example. Everybody here, I'm sure, at some time or another, you've been betrayed by someone, or you've been disappointed by someone. And the person or the individual that disappointed you or betrayed you, you kind of held on to it, and you was like, no, she's not loyal, or he's not loyal, or that was so disappointing. And so, what course correction allows you to do is to go back and reset the expectation you had for that individual based upon what you experienced with them or based upon what they've shown you. Okay. So, for instance, if someone betrayed my trust, instead of me harping on the fact that they betrayed my trust, and I hold on to that, saying that they're untrustworthy, what I can do through the process of course correction is to realize that I personally made a mistake by trusting them beyond their ability to maintain the trust that I had given them. I put too much on them. I have given them too much. And the reason why this is important is because still weekly, if you're keeping up with the news, especially in the Christian community, weekly there are pastors coming out all over, especially the state of Texas, all over the state of Texas that are stepping down, and not just Texas, but other states in our country. But these pastors are stepping down. There are believers who are coming out voicing other views now. They have perceived God and Christ and what it means to be saved quite differently. And it's a shock to the Christian community, because we're saying, like, what in the world? Because we thought that these were the people, right? And so through the process or the act of course correction, instead of being disappointed and becoming offended or just hurt, if you will, by church, through the process of course correction, you correct yourself and say, I will never again put someone up on that type of pedestal, or I had them too high in my perception of God. And so now I must make the adjustments, because course correction allows you to make the adjustments and keep moving without being distracted, or without being thrown off of your game, so to speak, because you realize that you don't have to hold any disappointment or trespass or whatever against anyone else. You take responsibility for yourself, and you take responsibility of placing such expectations or what have you up on another individual. And when you take responsibility for it, it's easier for you to let it go than if you would try to hold them accountable, because people are not always ready to be accountable for their actions. So if someone has disappointed you or crossed you, whether it's in your family, in your marriage, in your professional career, in your social life, whenever you're disappointed, course correct. Don't allow what someone has done or said or failed to do or failed to say. Don't allow it to continue to affect you in a way. Just course correct and say, hey, you know what? I got that wrong because I gave this person more credit, or I had such a high level of expectation for them that they were not able to handle. They were not in a position in my life at that time where they should have been given that much of an expectation from me. And as a result of me giving them too much expectation or placing too much expectation on them, I was disappointed. And so I'm going to course correct and roll back what I have given them, because the truth about the of the matter is that they're going to be who they're going to be, and the expectation and the favor that they find with you has nothing to do with who they are. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much you like someone, it's not going to make them a better person. Okay, let me say it this way. I don't care how much you like someone, it's not going to make them a better person. Well, let me try saying it a different way. I don't care how much you like someone, it's not going to make them a better person. I don't care how much you love someone, it's not going to make them a better person. And so the way that we find favor in people's lives, the lives of people around us, people find favor in our lives. And so we just favor certain people over other people. But just because you favor a certain person over another person doesn't mean that because you favor them, it's going to make them better than who or what they actually are. And whenever you experience disappointment, because people will do stuff that you thought, people that you thought you knew will do things that will shock you to your core. And rather becoming off put with these people or upset with these people or disgruntled with these people, we have the opportunity to course correct in each of those moments and say, you know what? Maybe it's on me because I expected more than they were able to give me, right? And those of you who are married, you know we have this experience in marriage all the time. We have to course correct all the time because we have certain expectations of our spouses, and we learn throughout our journey in relationship that is certain expectations that that is unrealistic based upon who our spouse is. And as a result of that, we have to readjust, except you end up becoming bitter with the person that you've committed the rest of your life to. And whenever you course correct, it allows you to be more forgiving, right, to others than you would normally be. But it's course correction. It's not about calling somebody, getting somebody right after they cross you or disappoint you. It's about making the adjustment internally to get yourself right and get yourself back on track. The Apostle Paul was going through a course correction whenever he penned this in Philippians 3, chapter 12. Verse 12, he says, not as though I have already attained it, either were I already perfect. I know I'm not perfect. I know I don't have it all together. But what I got to do is I have to course correct and see why it is that God came after me based upon who I thought I was serving. See, because he really thought he was doing the will of God and he thought he was good with God, but he wasn't. And rather than walk away and say, well, I was under the tutelage of great leaders and they led me wrong. And instead of becoming bitter with the leaders who had taught him, he says, okay, I'm going to course correct myself. Maybe I set my affections in the wrong place. And you hear that in Colossians when he comes back and said, set your affection on things which are above, not on things that are in this earth. So that was a course correction that he made within his personal lives or within his personal life. And we have to make course corrections in our personal lives in order to be able to accomplish what we have to accomplish or have set out to accomplish without having to deal with that stuff in your heart that will hinder your prayers and your ability to proceed and prosper in the things of God. We have to course correct. And that's something that you want to begin to practice right now, because I'm sure that as many of you who are connected with us this morning, you all can think of someone at this very instance that have disappointed you or let you down or something of that nature. And rather than waiting for them to get themselves together, You can course correct, you know. And even parents, we have certain expectations of our children. And sometimes they miss the mark, especially when they're adult children and you know how you've raised them. You look and you like, what in the world are you doing? Like, you know better than that. And it's true, they may know better than that, but your expectation that you have upon them may not necessarily be according to the capacity of who they are at this time. It doesn't mean that they can't change and do better. What it means is you can relieve yourself of anxiety and worry and anger and disappointment by course correcting and saying, you know what, the path I was traveling on of expectation for my child was based upon who it was I assumed that they were. But in all actuality, they just may not be there yet. And so that allows you to give grace. That allows you to give grace. And you know, we always hear these testimonies of believers who say, yeah, when I was younger, I did this, I did that, and then I changed my life. And so that change of life that we all have gone through periodically and throughout the course of our lives, all that is course correction. You have to correct the course of life that you're on. And it's always possible to correct it. And whenever you are correcting your own life, your own path, and your own journey, you have to remember that the same opportunity is available for others to correct their lives. And when we do this, like I said again, it relieves us of carrying the disappointment around. I don't care if it's with someone from your past, an ex. Don't walk around here bitter with your ex talking about how he did you or how she did you. Course correct and say, you know what? I had too much of an expectation for that relationship. That person could not handle the amount of expectation I had for what my relationship should look like. And that was on me. And so moving forward, I will make the adjustment and understand that just because I have an expectation of a person, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is who that person is. That person may not match my expectation. That's not on them, that's up on you, right? Because you are the one that placed the expectation. Even when you're doing business in your professional careers, you know, we begin to network and do business with people and connect with people. And we have a expectation for the people that we do business with and the people that we connect with, right? Because of what it is that we desire to achieve in our professional careers. And once we set these expectations and we start to see different sides of these people, when they begin to show us something different, we begin to become disappointed. And the truth of the matter is you can minimize your disappointment through course correction. You can minimize it through course correction. You can say, you know what? Initially, I thought that this person would be this way or that way. I thought he would be this or she would be that. You say to yourself, like, yeah, that was all me, because she never came up to me and said, hey, look, I'm loyal. I'm riding with you, or we gonna make the deal happen, or this is just what we expect. And when we have these expectations that go wrong, it can become very discouraging and cause you to move off course, right? So you move off course, and we will place the blame on the person or the situation that disappointed us, when in all actuality, all we have to do is course correct and say, hey, this is what I was expecting out of this, or this is what I expected this to become of this situation. But I was wrong. My expectation was not properly placed as it relates to this particular occasion. And you course correct. The same thing with your personal relationships, whether it's family or friends. You know, people will always show us. People will always show us that we can never truly know who they are. And regardless of how much you want to know a person in a certain way, if it's not in them to be that person that you desire to know, just wanting them to be that person is not enough to make them that person. Because if that was the case, we would make everybody be exactly who they wanted us to be, or who we wanted them to be in our lives. And that's not in our power. And so either we spend the rest of our lives being disappointed by people who we feel as though have betrayed us or disappointed us or let us down or turned on us. Come on, we didn't talk about that part of it, but that's an opportunity to course correct as well. That turned on us or and so forth and so on. These same people, all you have to do is course correct and understand that according to what you have desired and expected in your life, you placed it up on them, and they were just simply not on the same page nor in the same place that you were with your expectation. And so this allows you to be more forgiving, right? You're able to be more forgiving whenever you course correct and you don't hold things against people and you're able to move on. You don't get stuck whenever you learn to course correct. And course correction is, according to the scripture, it is your ticket to liberty. Because the Bible says that if you cannot forgive others, you can't be forgiving yourself. And so course correction allows you to be forgiven by God and to move forward. And it allows your prayers not to be hindered because you're not praying with unforgiveness or bitterness in your heart. You know, in my life over the years, I have certain seasons where I just comb my mind with a fine tooth comb and I just release people from expectations that I've had for them and that I was disappointed. I just go through and I release them, and it always enhances my other relationships in life. It enhanced those relationships because I remove that. And if you're one of those people that's saying, I don't trust nobody because I've been crossed, or I don't trust no man because all men cheat, you need to course correct. If that's you, you really need to course correct. If you say, well, I don't expect nobody to be faithful to me because ain't nobody loyal these days, you need to course correct because you're basing your entire future up on experiences that you've already had. And your future is not based upon experiences you've already had. Your future is based upon what it is that you desire and you commit to manifesting in the times to come. Don't allow what you have experienced prior to determine what it is you can experience in the coming future, right? So this is something that you can put, or you can put in place in every area of your life. And listen, parents, it's gonna stop you from yelling at your children so much and almost having an aneurysm when you walk into the house or walk into their room and see that they've done something. You're like, boy, you lost your mind. you know, Understand that. Remind yourself that, this is who I want my child to be, but this is what or who they actually are. There's on the Shade Room on social media, periodically I see these posts that says what I asked for and what I got and is not what they asked for. It looks nothing like what they actually have received as a result of it. Is totally different. It's thrown off, all the way off. Sometimes it be dresses, sometimes their hairstyles and stuff, and it looks nothing like what they originally asked for. And so, what I'm saying is, we have those experiences in life in real time. And when we have those experiences, rather than sulk in the disappointment or the displeasure, go ahead and course correct and say, okay, well, I thought that she could do my hair like that. I thought she was a good stylist, but this is not her thing. Course correct. Course correct. And then that way you won't have to be worrying about getting bond money to get out of jail because you went off on somebody. Um, I had to course correct Tuesday in the airport like 15 times, and every hour on the hour. I was saying to myself, I'm about to go viral because I was so angry and upset. And I said, you know what? Let me chill. Once I chilled out and calmed myself, I gave my cousin Larry a call and said, hey, listen, I'm going to be here for several hours. At the airport, come scoop me up. We got together, went to hang out, we got some dinner, and chilled out for a minute. And once I course corrected, it wasn't that bad, and it would end up being a great day because I had time to spend with my family that I hadn't had time to do in probably over a month, and it relieved me of the anxiety of they keep pushing my flight back. Why do they keep delaying my flight? If I would have sat in the airport all 15 hours, I would have gone insane. I definitely would have went viral. I knew that I would have went viral if I would have tried to stay there. So through the process of course correcting, it helped me to find an alternative way to get through the time lapse that I was delayed. And so what I'm saying is through course correction, it will give you alternatives rather than being mad at somebody, rather than falling. You don't have to fall out with everybody that disappoint you. Course correct. Course correct. You know, you don't have to be mad every time you're disappointed or you're let down by your spouse or your children or even yourself or your family or your friends. You don't have to fall out with people. Course correct and say like, you know what, I had too much on this. And the truth of the matter is, we have a game plan for everybody in our life, and we just fail in most instances to share the game plan with them. And right, Rashonda, we expect them to know the game plan, but we haven't shared it. You have an expectation for people, but you haven't told people your expectation. And when you're disappointed, you take the disappointment out on them, but they never knew what exactly you were expecting. Sometimes you can tell people what you expect and they could still disappoint you because they don't have the capacity to become who it is you desire them to be, right? So, in doing this, you preserve your heart and you keep your heart pure about certain things, certain instances, certain ones in your life, certain experience. You keep your heart pure. And I will tell you guys this, I think that I would contribute or attribute the majority of the things that have really been a blessing in my life to my heart because I have always been aware of the importance of keeping my heart pure. I've been able to love people that hated me. I've been able to embrace people that reject me. I have, and I haven't taken it personal. And that's because I kept my heart pure. And through the process of course correction, that's the way you do that. You don't want to walk around with things in your heart towards people and it's hindering you and they're going on with their life and they're living their future in the life that they desire to live, but you're held up because you have bitterness in your heart. You have to do that. It's going to keep you, and it's going to help you to be a little bit more carefree because you're going to take responsibility for your own life, your own course. You're going to be able to take responsibility for it. And when you take responsibility for it, you're not going to feel like you have to take whatever you get out of life. You're going to feel that you have a little bit more authority and control over the way your life play out, but it's through course correction. As often as you can course correct, you can change the trajectory of your life. But you have to course correct. You literally have to course correct. And the more often you do that, I know that, Candace, me too. The more often you do that, this is what's going to allow you. This is what's going to allow you to actually evolve into the life and place and experience that you desire to. This is what's going to allow it to do it. Course correction. Don't continue to be what someone did to you. Don't continue to experience the disappointment at the hand of someone else. Take it responsibility for yourself. Course correct and change the direction in which your life is going in. You can do it. I believe in you. And I pray that this word have landed in places in your life that will ultimately cause immediate change as you begin to put these things in place. Remember, to error is human. So you are going to be disappointed by yourself and other people. You are going to be let down. Why? Because to error is human, right? And so through course correction, it allows you to live beyond the human error, whether it's at the hands of yourself or at the hands of another. Course correction allows you to move on, and you're able to continue on your journey without getting stuck, whether it's a breakup or whatever it is, a termination of employment, a termination of a business transaction or a deal or something like that. Course correction allows you to keep it moving. And so that's what we want to do. Hey, listen, I pray that I've shared something with you guys today that will change your life for the better. We will continue to course correct as we move forward into this next week and in the coming weeks and months and throughout the remainder of this year and going into the next year and for the rest of our days that we're here on this earth. We're going to continue to course correct, and we're going to see that a lot of things that were huge to us and that were big deals to us and some things that got us stuck and caused delay in our life, we're going to see that we won't be delayed and we won't get stuck as much as we continue to course correct, okay? So I want you guys to immediately today make a decision that I'm going to start course correcting. And as you start course correcting, I'm sure that you're going to find out that you will be able to move a little bit more swiftly through the traffic of your life. I will be back here next Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I pray that all of you guys will meet me here, and I also pray that you have the best week this upcoming week that you've had all year long. I pray this is the best week for you. Listen, please go and make a donation when we end this session today. If these sessions are being a blessing to you, go and make a donation immediately following. Those of you who may not know how to give, reach out to the person that invited you, and they'll be able to tell you how to make your contribution. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've been blessed by these sessions that we have on Sunday mornings. And if you need to know how to give, we have Apple Pay, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle. And if you need that information, reach out to myself or the person that shared this link with you, and they'll instruct you on how to give. But until next week, I bid you blessings and Godspeed. I love you all.
And I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared. And I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year. And I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared. gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good